Welcome, everybody, to episode 158 of The China Show. And boy, do we have a fun one for you today.
And he's not just saying that. It's actually, like, really fun and not a crap, like, boring, sad one. It's actually, like, really fun. Yeah. We never had crap, boring, sad. No. I'm saying it's not going to be like you're not going to leave and be like, oh, man, what a downer. You're going to be like, what an uplifting, fun episode.
We have to start out with ice cream.
Yeah.
Okay, we all remember what happened, right? With the ice cream thing, with BMW. If you watched the last show anyway, quick recap. BMW at the Shanghai Motor Show gave away free ice creams. They ran out. And there was this miscommunication or this screw-up where people thought they were only giving ice creams to foreigners and not local Chinese people. So there's almost like a mini riot. And there was this crazy thing where the
ice cream riot
came out and they were like trying to block a streamer who was trying to find out.
We got some more of that later.
Yeah, you'll see. Anyway, as a response to this, a very well-known live streamer in China. Okay, I'm going to put him in the background here. Let me just try and actually get it playing. Give me a second. There he is. This guy's name is Simba.
Simba.
Yeah, like the lion. Really.
And you have chips. And by the way, a little tidbit I learned. Simba is a company of chips.
Yeah, South African chips. Simba chips. Yeah. They're great or whatever. I can't remember. That's Frosties.
Great.
Yeah, that's Frosties.
They don't say that.
But they roar with flavor. I think that's what it is.
Oh, interesting. You said Frosted Flakes, right?
Yeah. Kellogg's Frosties.
Yeah, we call them Frosted Flakes. I believe, actually, it's not a tiger that says they're great. I think someone else says something about them being...
Oh, they're...
great. Yeah, that's right.
That's right. It was John T.
Right. Yeah, it was John T.
Anyway, so this Simba guy, he's what's called a Kwai... He's a Kwai Show Wang Hong.
Yeah.
Okay, so what he does is he does these like live streams that sell stuff. So he's mad popular for basically having online sales events. Yeah. And he'll get like other big name stars, like
he's
movie stars. Yeah, he's a streamer.
And Kwai Show is just an alternative to Douyin. It's more countryside people use it though in China.
Yeah, that's true. Anyway, and then what he'll do is he'll be like, we've got a special on this shampoo. And it's like, if you order right now, like within the next 10 seconds, you'll get it for whatever, right?
Yeah.
That's what he does.
For this low price.
Pretty much.
If you order now.
But he's broken tons of records, like selling like hundreds of thousands of shampoo bottles in like 10 seconds and stuff like that.
Would you say he does something like this?
What?
If you order now with a low price of 1 yuan.
They're not even hearing
If you order now for the low price of 1.5 yuan, you'll get two like that.
Something like that. Stop.
Okay, cool. Anyway,
okay,
you get the idea, yeah.
So anyway, the fact of the matter, he got all pissed off about this BMW thing. So he's like, I'm going to make this right. I'm Chinese. I'm well known. And he's rich, he's a very rich influencer. So he bought like a lot of ice cream.
It's a good intention.
Yeah, he had this great intention. He's like, I'm going to buy ice cream, set it up, and any Chinese person can come take it for free.
Yeah. One might say he's the pride of the country.
Yeah, exactly. So he set this up, and let's take a look what's going on here. You'll notice he's a little frustrating, and maybe you can tell people what he's saying. Let's play it out first.
He's getting mad. So
why is he mad?
He's getting mad because people aren't lining up. So he's basically shaming them, and he's using his national identity to shame people into lining up. Because if they're not, then they're not Chinese.
He's basically saying, "Don't forget you're Chinese.
Don't forget you're Chinese.
You're Chinese, right? Yeah. Line up. Don't forget you're Chinese. Don't forget you're Chinese." Because this is actually how it started. If you look behind, he set up all these ice cream things, and he's got a loudspeaker, and he's basically saying, Chinese people, come get a free ice cream. I guess what he's saying. So here's the first hint that something's about to go wrong over here. Okay? He's saying, ah, yeah, which means, hey, aye, which means, hey, auntie.
Yeah.
Okay, you probably get where this is going because we all know about grab hags on this show, right?
Did we mention that, or he ended that first statement by saying, shut up?
Yeah, he did. He did.
Sorry.
Anyway, so he's like, ah, yeah. It's like, why are you trying to take so much? Look at there's a grab hag.
There's a grab hag.
So like everyone's coming, he's like, everybody take one. Grab hag comes in there. She's taking as much as she can carry.
Yeah.
Okay. So then, and they're filming it all. So then he goes into this whole thing, which you saw here, because it just gets out of control. People start coming and grabbing handfuls and as much as they can carry, right?
Yeah.
And that's why he's like...
Getting mad. Now, you know how I said he had good intentions?
Yeah.
Actually, what's the opposite of a devil's advocate?
I don't know, like an angel's advocate.
I'm going to be an angel's advocate here.
Okay, sure.
This guy's a piece of shit. All he's doing this is basically for clout online, so he can be like, look, I am so good. I am giving to the locals because BMW is racist. That's what he's doing.
You know
and
what?
It's not going according to plan, so he's mad.
And you know what's happened is he's just lost faith in his countrymen right here. Yeah. You could tell. You could see he's like, he didn't expect people to misbehave so badly and just come to...
And to be honest, it's just ruining his video.
Yeah.
Right? It's ruining his stream.
Yeah, because he's trying to show like it's supposed to be this nice orderly thing where it's like one person. Anyway, it gets worse. So this gets released online and he starts getting massive backlash. Okay, how dare you like speak to us Chinese people like this? So he gets sprayed, as they say.
Yeah, as they say.
They say sprayed. So that means people attacked him, trolls attacked him. It's like, you should let our Chinese people take what we want, you know? You shouldn't limit us. You shouldn't be, you know, belittle us type thing. So then he's like, relents, right?
Because it's live, right? So people are spraying him as he's live. Yeah. We gotta be much better at translating. He's getting attacked by the people online in the comments as they're rolling, just like you guys are in chat right now, right? It's a live show. If to spray us would be if you're like, this stream sucks. Like, what's wrong with you? Your attitude is bad. You know, that kind of stuff. Yeah.
So then he relents, and he also just can't stop it. So eventually he's like, okay, fine, take what you want type thing, right?
He gives out because he looks bad.
Look at him. He's lost all his energy.
It's making him look bad too because he's fighting it. Right.
So then, like, you know what ensues is everyone's they bring out the shopping carts. Dude,
they borrowed a shopping cart from down the way.
Yeah. This is why you can't give away free things in China, is because people will just come and take everything.
Yeah, because this doesn't exist.
Yeah.
The free sample thing doesn't exist in China.
Yeah.
That's just not a thing that you do.
A lot of big companies have learned the hard way that you can't do that in China.
Yeah.
Like IKEA, we talked about it before. You know, if you go to IKEA, you can make your own coffee, and they've got like a thing of milk. You can pour your own milk. You can do... They had to stop that in China because the grab hags, the IEs, would go in there, even though they don't even drink coffee, with like their own bags.
They hate coffee.
And they fill their bags up with all the free milk and the powder and the sugar and everything, so there's nothing left.
Within an hour.
Yeah, one person will clear out the whole like IKEA stand there.
Yeah, they'll bring a keg.
Dude, Starbucks, you know, Starbucks... in the beginning in China, they used to have those like a thermos of cream and milk and stuff, half and half or whatever. So you get your Americano and then you can go over to like a little counter and top up yourself with milk and stuff. They had to stop doing that because the IEs would just come and like fill up their own flasks of milk and everything to walk away. So you had to actually go to the counter and ask them to add something for you if you needed it. You know, that kind of thing. Anyway, so this is just how it backfires. And
then this got a lot of notoriety on Chinese internet because it was a whole like dramatic event that unfolded.
Can you imagine being so greedy as to fill up an entire shopping cart with ice cream?
I mean, that's just shitty behavior. Right?
I mean, look, there's like 100 ice creams in there.
Yeah.
You know, like when you go down to the beach, like, you know, anywhere in the world, you'll always get someone with a little cart, and it's like ding-a-ling-a-ling. That's an entire stock of one of those carts.
Yeah.
That these two girls just took for free.
She went and actually set up a cart after this.
I mean, the fact that they go in there, they took a shopping cart and filled it to the brim with free ice creams and walked away. Now you probably understand just how bad the whole giving away free things can be in China.
Anyway, but the most important part of this is that the BMW thing, again, they weren't just handing out free ice cream.
No.
All this spiraled out of control. You guys have to understand, this was like an organized event that you book online through the app.
Yeah, you were supposed to. Yeah, you were supposed to actually like on the app apply for the free ice cream, and then you go.
And it turns out it wasn't for foreigners; it was for everyone.
Of course,
it was just as many Chinese people got it.
Yeah.
But then it spiraled out of control because that one BMW employee or someone related to that got one of the ice creams.
Yes.
And
then they were like, "Oh, they're only giving them to foreigners." Yeah.
This is how this started. And by the way, this blew up way more than last episode.
Yeah, last time we showed somebody setting their BMW on fire.
Yeah.
And that kind of, it gets worse. But we thought we'd show you something else ice cream related, okay? This has actually got nothing to do with the whole BMW fiasco.
Yeah.
But this is a homegrown Chinese ice cream, and the woman bought it and bit into it, and guess what she found in the ice cream?
A bolt. A bolt, yes.
Yeah, a nut, sorry, that's a nut.
Nuts, yeah.
Yeah, I mean a massive nut. And it's not a hazelnut.
No.
Anyway.
It's not the kind of nut you want to bite into.
So
that sounds
now, yeah. Take a look, guys. This is fallout from the BMW thing. So, you know, it's spread online like wildfire that BMW's racist, right?
Yeah.
So people are going around smashing like
any BMW product. Wouldn't that be funny if that was a Chinese fake Mini? There's a lot of those fake ones.
Yeah, there are. But I mean, like, this is in a showroom, right? Like, why would you do that?
The people like were putting bumper stickers over the BMW logos and stuff. But this is, by the way, this is one of those great examples of a Chinese person putting on a fake license plate to look like they're from a different place.
Yeah, because look, they've got a California license plate, but underneath it you can see the blue Chinese one.
Yeah, they do that a lot, actually.
They do.
Yeah.
You know why he's doing this, though? Is to protect his car.
Yeah.
And
because
to be
it's
patriotic.
making you look like hey, I'm not supporting this BMW giving away free ice cream thing.
People were doing, you know, during the anti-Japanese riots with the Senkaku Islands, they were doing that. If you had a Toyota or something, people were like sticking massive Chinese flags and things on their car so people wouldn't attack it, and saying like big like anti-Japanese slogans and stuff so people wouldn't attack their cars. So this is the same thing.
Yeah, there's a lot of material like this, but it got worse because people were smashing
like random people's cars.
Yeah, in the parking lots and stuff.
Yeah. So like you can see the one just above us here, someone came out to their car and it had just been smashed with a hammer, and they broke the handles. And I mean, that's not fair. That's, you know, this dude.
It was wrong too. It had nothing to do with BMW.
Yeah, I mean, this guy bought his BMW. You know, probably paid a shitload of money for it. In China, cars are very expensive.
About double, yeah.
Yeah, like double the price. He's probably very proud of his car, and then just because of some misunderstanding, stupid thing with the ice cream, he comes down and his car is smashed.
Yeah.
You see, this is when xenophobia and nationalism just go nuts.
Yeah, and the government allows it.
Of course they do. Because the government, and this is something you have to realize about China, the government has every opportunity to send out a mass text message that goes to everyone.
Yep.
And they did that.
Yep.
They did that when the anti-Japanese riots got out of control. Yep. Remember? Things were so out of control, smashing, but they wanted that. And it just reached a point where they just sent out to everybody. In fact, I have a video of it. I actually filmed it because I was there at the time.
Yeah.
And it said something like to all us Chinese people, it's good to be patriotic, but we mustn't attack private people's property type thing. And now it's time to stop. And it stopped.
Yeah.
They could do that.
Yeah.
You know, they could clear it up, but they don't want to. Anyway, so it just kind of got out there. Lots of footage of like people smearing ice creams on BMWs and writing slogans here, throwing a shared bike on a BMW just because, you know.
Just because.
It's pathetic.
Yeah.
You know?
There's all kinds of vandalism inside of these like parking garages and stuff. Also, a little clip from the Shanghai Expo.
Yeah.
This is, what would we call a Karen that's a man?
There is a name for it, like a Ken.
A Ken or something?
Yeah, I think they call him a Ken. But this is like
a Ken.
Again, if you're a company in China, just don't have the option of giving away free things.
Yeah.
Because this is what you get. This guy's complaining that he didn't get, you know, freebies from this Toyota stand or whatever.
Yeah.
Just look at him freaking out.
Having a conniption.
Yeah. They're trying to...
I'll have to watch this all day, but you get the idea.
He's basically saying like, why didn't you give me this? Why didn't you give me that? You know, like, I don't have this or that. Give me this, give me that. And they're like, oh, we'll give you this. And they're giving him things just to shut him up. And he's going a bit overboard here.
Yeah.
Spoiled nonsense.
Looks like Kevin.
Oh, it's a Kevin?
Yeah.
Okay. Imagine getting so upset over a free fan. See that fan? That's like the first thing he was really going on about is he wants one of those free fans. Why didn't I get one of these?
Yeah, I don't know why we're even covering this. Anyway, it's just it's a man having a conniption. Yeah, the free swag. He's sweating over it.
Yeah, no, seriously though, I think that this is a good public service announcement for any company that's doing business with China, is when you go to an event like this, Don't have free giveaways. Have a great presentation. Put something on that's good and entertaining so people get something from it, like maybe have a, I don't know, dance or something interesting, maybe karaoke people can sing. I don't know, anything like that. But don't give away anything physical, free stuff. Because first of all, there's a subset of Chinese population, those grab hags. If they get a whiff of that there's free stuff going away, they'll come and just like that IE taking that dude's ice cream and like the women with the shopping cart.
It's always that age generation.
Yeah, you'll get them coming in there and just taking everything. So it's not going to have the effect of actually being a nice thing for everyone because you'll get a couple of people ruining it for everyone else. But on top of that, you might be caught up in a big racist furore like BMW and your cars being smashed and your stock prices going down. So don't give away freebies in China.
Apparently.
Yeah. So it's time.
You know what you should do?
What?
You should drink AG1 from Athletic Greens.
Yes, you should.
Which is our sponsor for today.
Oh, yeah.
We're very proud to be sponsored by
look at this lovely background.
Athletic Greens and AG1. And it's something that you, in fact, have made a part of your daily diet.
Yeah. So, guys, seriously, I've got a very bad diet, and I'm fully admitting that. I eat trash and I shouldn't, and I know it's against what I should be doing, but I do have something to combat that, and that is AG1 from Athletic Greens. It's something that I drink every day, and it helps because I don't eat a lot of vegetables, and this really is just packed with all the vitamins and everything else you might need. So instead of like taking fistfuls of pills every day, I just need to mix up a lovely drink which tastes nice.
And how does it make you feel, like, since you start? Obviously, it's not like overnight, but like, how has it made you feel since you started this routine?
Well, I was lacking something. I've said a couple of times, but I was really getting brain fog and just kind of crashing, and it was just kind of rubbish. After starting to take AG1, I could feel like what my body was missing, and really like replenished it, and I'm feeling
Makes
great.
sense. I mean, like, if you're not eating, even if you are eating vegetables and fruits and stuff like this, it's nice to have that like extra boost, because you need that vitamin D. You need all that stuff that's in there, and it's super easy to drink that one drink, and that's it for the rest of the day. And
I mean, it's not just for people like me who have crappy diets and you know, stuck editing and doing stuff all day. You know, if you're an athlete or you're somebody who's very active, this is a very beneficial product for you as well. It's just great, just rounds out your day.
If you're looking for an easier way to take supplements, Athletic Greens is giving you a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. Go to athleticgreens.com/ADV. That's athleticgreens.com/ADV, and that's like adventure. Check it out.
Yeah, thank you once again, Athletic Greens, for sponsoring the video. Now, by the way, we discovered something very interesting when we were searching for like nature, right?
Yeah, this is in relation to this.
Yeah, because, you know,
AG1, so we do, you know, ad reads for them sometimes.
Yeah.
And we love the product. We love them. Mm-hmm. And it's a wonderful company. So as I'm doing this, I like to refresh some of the background footage. So I literally looked up.
Nature flowing in wind.
I just wanted some, before we used sunflowers.
Yeah.
Now we're using some sakura flowers. Mm-hmm. And I just wanted to see some other nature flowing in the wind background, right? And I thought it was very interesting to see that, you know, there's a bunch of these videos, right? There's 3 videos, but there's one on top that's actually a sponsored video. It makes it look like a YouTube video, right? And what it actually is a paid ad on YouTube by the Chinese government.
Yes.
State-owned enterprise Sinopec oil company.
Yes.
China's literal oil company. They're state-owned enterprise by the Gongchandan, the Communist Party of China's oil company,
is the top
with
result.
A windmill on the top result of nature flowing in the wind.
Yes.
What world, what timeline are we living on right now?
The other thing that was kind of weird is when we were looking up sakura trees.
Yeah.
Most of the results were for China.
Yeah.
Which, you know, they're not from there. And they don't even call it sakura there. It's like yinhua, you know. You're starting to see how the SEO works. And if you've got money to dump into SEO, the stuff that China wants you to see is starting to pop up at the top of everything. So just be aware of that, by the way.
We've noticed just stuff that we know we could easily search for before, like an old story or something like that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Not even old, like from last year or a few months ago. It will be buried and gone out of search results because they pay for SEO to make it go away.
Yeah, yeah.
It's so dumb and bad.
It is bad. Kind of like this. So what's going on here?
Can you go back to the beginning of that?
Yeah, sure. I could go back.
Please attempt to explain what is happening. Please attempt. Just attempt. Go all the way to the beginning.
Okay, all the way to the beginning.
Set it up. These are police, right?
Yeah, they're security guards.
Okay,
well, they're urban management, I guess.
Zhongguan, okay.
Which is technically they are like a low-level branch of the police. They're connected to the police. If you look on their uniforms, they have kind of like police insignia and stuff because they are connected to the police.
So what for all the listeners out there that heard 2 male screams? What happened in this video?
Well, they're getting some kind of a massage.
So there's 2 security guards in police uniforms laying on a massage bed.
Yeah, and they're getting like this weird. They're getting pulled back
by like flight attendants.
yeah, exactly.
They're getting yanked.
Yeah, but that's whatever. Okay,
yeah.
This is if you go for a massage in China, you'll get this sometimes.
The outfits are a bit weird.
Yeah,
anyway.
I mean that's whatever. But the bizarre thing is the barbecue aspect. They've got barbecue lined up.
They're grilling it.
Yeah, they are. They're grilling barbecue.
Indoors.
Yeah, in front of the...
inside in a room.
Yeah, like in front of the massage table okay, that they're lying down on. And they're like pulling the guy up and feeding him. I think the second one's better though.
I love that. He's like in agony, but then he takes a bite and he goes,
I like that so much that I went ahead and made a soundbite.
I don't know what the context would ever be for that.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, I pressed the wrong button. Yeah. No, seriously, I don't know what the.
Did you push something bad?
No. I'm just saying. By the way, that this is what we're talking about right now is what's new.
Sorry. Yeah.
Because we didn't actually start that, but this is what's new. That's what's happening in China, etc., that I usually say.
What was actually happening in here? So I'm just trying to think how this is set up. So you got Chongguan, which are basically security guards that go around and beat people up in the streets if they're selling something on the street.
Yeah.
Right. So let's say you're an old lady selling vegetables.
Yes.
They'll go punch you. They'll literally steal everything.
They'll break your stuff or steal it.
And they do hit people all the time.
Sure.
And people hate them.
Yeah.
But they're in a massage parlor with flight attendants.
I mean, that's just
breaking their backs.
The uniform for the staff.
Okay, in uniform.
Okay. Yeah.
And pulling them back like a banana. While somebody is simultaneously cooking Chinese barbecue indoors on coals.
Then shoving it in their mouth.
Shoving it in their mouth as they go up in pain.
I know.
There is no intro or outro to this clip.
No, this is it.
Just something that fell in your lap.
It's just this.
I love his bites.
Dude, I mean, that's why I just had to do a... Let me find it.
The little smirk at the end. I had to do it.
Anyway, so that's going to be a soundbite from now on. Why do I keep hitting soft power? I guess because I want it to be soft power.
But it's not yet.
No, but it's not yet. Okay, so anyway, we thought we'd show you that absolute bizarre clip.
What is? Oh, there's more at the end there where they release the guy.
They release the guy at the back. I could just see it being rather like a kind of a messy thing.
Yeah, I mean, this is not a thing that happens.
I've never done this.
Yeah.
There's a lot of interesting, weird stuff that you can do in China
like
that I've tried.
Yeah, cupping on fire, and
you get a foot massage and you can drink coffee and stuff, whatever. But I've never seen street-style barbecue force-fed to someone while they're being hurt on a bed. You know what I mean? It is kind of interesting, but it's one of those things you just gotta love about China, though.
It is.
Yeah.
Love all the onions.
Yeah, now
this one's gonna cause shit, and I'm preempting this. I'm gonna straw man this real quick.
Okay, go for it.
You are not allowed to get mad at our take here because I think Winston and I may not actually argue over this. We may end up agreeing with each other.
Yeah, it's very possible.
We have had very little discussion about this, but we knew that you guys, some subset of the populace watching this is going to get mad and start defending this.
Yeah.
And that's fine, but we'd prefer if you just hear us out for a second.
Yes. Should we play the clip first?
Let's just watch the clip first. I just want to warn people. There's no death.
No
bullshit.
No, don't worry about it. But you got to see this, okay? We'll set it up for you. You get, whenever you go to like a a theme area. Now, it doesn't necessarily need to be a theme park or anything, but a
No.
theme, like you go to a botanical garden, for instance. They often have these kind of things like this, where there's a little shallow lake or water or something, and then they'll have like stepping stones, kind of like Mario.
Kind of like Mario.
But you hold onto a rope.
Yeah.
Or something, a strap, and then you like will step from step to. It's just kind of a fun thing people like to do.
And if you fall off, it would go.
Yeah, exactly. It'll be like that. You'll get that sound, and then you'll fall down. Anyway, fact of the matter is, this is one of those situations. So there's a guy. He's got this woman all ready. He's like, gets her to hold the rope. He's like, okay, you can go. It's your turn now. Let's see what happens. Well, so I'm sorry, but like, it's very difficult not to laugh at this.
No. You just canceled yourself.
I'm sorry, but I am going to say that this is absurd and ridiculous, and it's worthy of ridicule.
You are not allowed to laugh at somebody suffering. I say you're allowed to ridicule something after that person is okay. And they're
okay.
Fine.
They're okay. Obviously not at the time.
It is less than 2 feet of water.
Yeah.
Okay? Now someone's gonna come in here and they're gonna say, well, when somebody's struggling in the water and then they won't be able to. You can stand up.
You can stand up.
I was a lifeguard for 5 years.
Yeah, so listen, he's a professional.
I have saved people's lives. I have given mouth to mouth. I have pulled bodies out of the water and made sure that they were alive again.
Yeah, you're in the newspaper and stuff, right? So, professional.
Now, we're looking at a scenario where all of those situations where I rescue people were way further out than 2 feet deep of water. Most were children. Most of the time, their parents weren't watching them, and they were in over their head already, and they got tired, and they started dipping, right?
Yeah.
This woman is standing in 1.5 feet of water.
Yes.
It's barely past her knees.
Yeah.
It's barely up to her waist.
Yes.
And somehow this happened.
Yeah, so if you're perhaps listening and not watching, it's a little zipline type thing. She slows down, okay? So she drops down. She drops down onto her knees on the floor of... Okay, now,
she already knows the bottom.
So take a look. Her knees hit the bottom. Bam, okay? And so her knees hit the bottom of the water. So it shows you, even if she's on her knees, she can still just stand there like on her knees and breathe fine or whatever. She lurches forward and flails around and almost drowns a grown woman.
Yeah.
And then the guy who, the employee of the park who set her up on the strap or whatever, gets in the water and wades over to her.
He literally just
walks over to her, okay? And it's not even up to his belt line, gets her up and takes her out. Okay, now, this, when I first saw this clip, I wasn't surprised.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
I was just flabbergasted, but at the same time, not actually surprised.
But this isn't even about lack of swimming ability.
It's the lack of exposure to water.
Yeah.
And I made a video years ago that said, like, Chinese police can't swim.
Yeah.
You look it up.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of tragic drownings in China where, like, people are drowning like a foot or a meter away from crowds.
Yeah.
Because nobody can come in to help because they can't swim either. And it's a problem. When I was in China, in Shenzhen, when I used to teach people, it doesn't matter, kids, adults, whatever, one of the questions I would often ask the classes is, who can swim? Yes. And very few people could. Yeah. And that's because they don't get the exposure to swimming.
Sure.
You know, it's just not something that happens in China. If you're in the very rural countryside and there's a river or something there, yeah, of course you're gonna flap around in there and get to learn.
Magikarp that.
Yeah, exactly. You're gonna do exactly. But in general, Chinese people don't learn how to swim because they don't learn it in school. It's not something that's seen as an important trait.
Yeah.
And so you get a situation like this where someone is so wholly unprepared to deal with water that they almost drown in like less than 2 feet of water.
Yeah.
But it's just absurd. And you have to see it to believe it.
Yeah.
And now you've seen it, now you can believe it.
One thing. I was gonna devil's advocate some of the Chinese commentary in the comments. There were people claiming that she faked the whole thing, and this is all just an elaborate hoax to say, look, like our people are so nice and help each other. You know, because they have all those propaganda like Good Samaritan channels in China.
Yeah,
I know.
There's no way she
I'm just
faked
saying,
this. Yeah,
that was some hyperbole.
You could tell she's genuinely panicked.
Yeah. It's bad panic response.
And the recovery when she has to sit there on the ledge or whatever, you could tell like it was almost the end of her. 2 feet of water. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, whoops.
Anyway, let's move on.
Yeah, let's move on. Just thought we'd share that.
Swimgate is going to be, I know people are going to come in and be like, I know somebody that blah, blah, blah. I get it.
Oh, yeah,
right?
when you're going to shop.
Yeah, you do this and that. I get it. I was around that scenario. And I'm telling you, I've never even seen a child that didn't know how to swim that was that bad.
I know. It's just, you just have to look at it realistically from just,
Sure.
Yeah, anyway, let's move on.
Doc Slothington had a good take.
What's that?
She had a crush on the lifeguard. Yeah.
That's entirely
the uncle
possible.
that came in.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, guys, this has gone viral in China, and this has actually caused a problem.
Yeah, so first you'll laugh at it, but then we'll tell you how ridiculous the response was.
Yeah. So we're going to play this little clip
It's
for
a bit
you.
loud.
It's loud for us. I'll take it down. I'll get us out of there. I'm going to play this. Let's see.
上学呀。我为了长大不想在中国住了，想要去英国。你为什么来？
So, for those of you listening, and for those of you who maybe didn't catch that, the teacher asks, what do you want to grow up? Or like, why do you go to school? What's the reason? And his answer is not a very satisfactory one for China.
Yeah. So he says...
学呀。我为了长大不想在中国住了，想要。
He says, I want to make sure that when I grow up, I don't have to live in China. And then after this, he says, I want to go to England.
Yeah, I want to immigrate to the UK.
Yeah.
And now this, of course, caused massive backlash, so much so that there's like official investigations into the education standards of the school, and the government's now involved, and it's a big hoo-ha.
It literally became an issue. Like, the average person in China watching this would laugh at this. Oh, cute kid. He's smart.
Yeah.
That's the average Chinese response. But the official response is very different.
It's like there's something wrong with the education system there. We're putting it under investigation. Government swarms on the school.
Yeah.
It's terrible. I mean, think about it. If a kid like you, it doesn't matter what country you're in, you say like, what do you want to do when you grow up? Or, I want to go live in China, or I want to go
live here anymore.
Yeah.
And people would be like, sure.
It's like,
yeah, of course.
Sure.
I wrote my journal when I was his age that I wanted to dig a hole at China.
Really?
And I used to be interested in China, read books about it. I want to go to China when I grow up. I did the same thing.
Yeah.
There was nothing wrong. My teacher didn't call my parents.
Yeah, like weebs would be like, I want to go to Japan and have a waifu or something.
Yeah, something like that, right?
Yeah.
Or whatever you're interested in. At that time, I was interested in China. I was looking at books about it in the library.
Yeah.
There was no hoo-ha. There was no look and examination to the education system.
Yeah, you're like, how dare you betray our country?
But that's where this kid's at.
Yeah.
His parents and the school.
It's devastating for them. I really do hope that he does get to immigrate.
Yeah.
I
hope he gets there someday.
Hope he gets his wish.
I got my wish.
Yeah,
I
went
got to go
China?
live in China for 10 years. Anyway.
去英国。你为什么来？
So what's happening here?
This is something I should have included a personal experience of mine. I'll save it for another time.
Right.
But shout out to my boys and girls up in Inner Mongolia. They do very fun things like their university Olympics, which is something I participated in. I'll show the old fans will know, but I'll probably show in Shabanho at some point.
Yeah.
But I just thought a big shout out to all the people that wore costumes for these runs. I thought they were very funny, but there's one that you'll spot. You'll see if I want you to speculate what happened to that kid.
Okay. Let's see.
Ooh, yes.
Yeah.
Whoop, whoop.
Bad idea. Bad idea. He's doing it again.
He's fast.
Mm-hmm.
I like him a lot.
Yeah.
Anyway, I thought that was a nice thing. That was up in Shifeng. Actually, one of my
Yeah.
best friends in China is from there. And I thought that was a nice little view into the student life in China. But, by the way, always remember that the Winnie the Pooh outfit is not illegal. It's just illegal to compare Xi Jinping to Winnie
Yes,
the Pooh.
that's correct, yeah.
A little correction. People
Yeah.
get confused, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, what's this?
I think it's, well, before we do that, I think this is kind of interesting that they use the Kumamoto bear.
Yeah.
That's like, in Japan, there's a prefecture area, and that's like the mascot from that area.
From that province.
Yeah, I don't know why that would be
state
a
or whatever.
dress-up thing.
Yeah.
It's bizarre.
Yeah, it is,
It's kind of strange to me, anyway. Yes, so this, guys, when we first, this has been going around for a while now, a couple of weeks, okay? And we were thinking about including it in last week's show, but we're like, nah. I mean, it's clearly a knockoff,
but
it's just like whatever, okay? But then when you look closer, we saw like some closer images, and we were like, you know what, we better include this.
Yeah.
Okay, so what this is it's there's a The Rock movie.
Yeah.
What does he say? Dazi.
Chunje Kwailer.
Yeah. Dazi.
Dazi.
Dazi,
Or
yeah,
something
exactly.
like that.
Ridiculous. And we got Dazi the Rock. And he's got a movie called Skyscraper. Let me get us out of there. Which, looks like a movie. And next to it is a new movie also coming out, like a big budget movie in China.
Yeah.
And you see the two posters for the movie, and you're like, that's very similar.
Of course.
So you're like, okay, they probably just knocked off the design language. They liked the way it looked. They thought, let's make our own version.
Because the background's different, right?
A little bit different. Yeah, I mean, it's a different stuff down there.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of things that are similar about it.
You gotta look close.
Okay? And so we're like, okay, it's just a clear knockoff, but it's its own thing, right?
Yeah, Rad135 said, it's the same hand.
Yeah. Oh, did you do the hand?
No.
You didn't put in the hand?
No, I just have the picture you sent me.
Remember, I sent you the pictures of the hand.
Oh.
Where's the hand picture?
Well,
That's the whole point.
You can look at the hand.
Okay, well.
It's very clear.
There's. You got to dig it up. I'll throw it in the show. You got to find it. Let me throw it in there. It's so important. You got to look because.
You sent me this.
No, I sent you the hand thing.
For real, I have the folder.
I absolutely sent it to you. Yeah, you'll see it if you look for it. Basically, if you look very closely at the hands, you'll see they photoshopped the Rock's wedding ring off of his finger, but it's got the same. It's the same hand, the same pinky, the same. It's the same hand, basically.
Of course, you can't find it anywhere on Google because Google will make sure that that's not allowed.
Yeah. Let's see if I have it perhaps saved on my phone here, and then I'll send it to you. Yeah, here I got it. Let me just airdrop it to you.
I'll drop it on the thing.
Yeah, okay. It says airdrop a copy. There we go. Give me a second, because you guys got to see this. I mean, it's one thing to show the outside poster, but you need this close-up look. All right, if you can just...
Sure, I'll drop it on.
Cool. Now, bear with me, everybody, while I dig around here quickly to... This picture that's coming up is unnecessary. Don't pay attention to it.
What?
No, because I have to go to this images thing. Okay. There's something in there.
Okay, you're good.
Okay, it's on there? Okay.
Why are you showing everything as you do it?
There's no other way to do this. Background? No, there's no other way to do this particular thing. You chucked it on the desktop?
Yeah.
Okay. There it is. Open it. Okay. Okay. So now everybody will be able to see what we're talking about here. Okay. Give me a second. Take a look at what they did there. Exactly the same picture. Yeah. So they actually photoshopped the top part of the poster. They took the hand, they took the wedding ring. You can see right up there, you can see where they very badly photoshopped the wedding ring off of his hand.
Yeah.
But
it's still I see.
You can still see it. You can see the line there, right? It's so dumb.
They used his hand doesn't even match. It's a giant
it's
a different color.
Yeah, well, I mean that's the thing. They changed the color and everything so that it looks like a Chinese hand, right?
Yeah, I see.
But yeah, the closer you look, the more absolutely absurd this knockoff is.
Lord of the Rings, dude.
Yeah,
He just got divorced.
Yeah. The Rock turned Chinese and then got a divorce.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, seriously, though, look at the pinky finger, like that deformed nail or whatever. It's like the same. Datsy. Anyway, so yeah. I think
should be a soundbite.
Datsy should be a soundbite, yeah. Let's go back to the video playback. So just so you know, it looks similar because it's the same image. At least up into the diagonal part, you know?
Yeah.
It's shameless.
Snappy 452 with a good point. 5 fingers equals 5G.
Wait, yeah.
Nice.
Anyway, guys, so shameless copy, and it's a big budget movie. Why can't they do their own designs? Why can't they hire a proper graphic designer to do their own thing?
I couldn't tell you.
And apparently the Chinese guy doesn't have a hand or can't hang on to anything.
Why can't he have his own hand?
I know. Why couldn't they do that?
Because it's cheaper to just
copy, yeah. Hollywood, stop capitulating to China, man.
What are you doing?
Yeah, anyway. So, had to show that.
It's ridiculous.
It's so dumb. It's so dumb.
What a scam. Okay.
So is it soft power hour yet, or is it time for something else?
It's time! By the way, I wanted to shout out our friend Jordan Harbinger. Can you get us out of there for a second?
Yeah, sure. I'll get us out of there.
He just did an episode.
You want me to play that?
It's absolutely fascinating. It's with Nita Farahany, or Farahany. I don't know how to pronounce her name properly.
Right.
But what I can say is that their topic was absolutely fascinating because it was about mind control. I'm not talking about the tinfoil hat stuff. I'm talking about what the potential for reading people's minds is in the future. I'm talking about getting brain scans and being able to tell what people are thinking, what people are doing. And China is already applying this in some way. So let's roll a clip.
Okay, let's take a look, guys.
New nightmare unlocked, unfortunately. You kind of just mentioned before, you can tell if somebody's a conservative or a liberal. It seems like we're quickly heading to a place where people in the government could maybe look inside our heads, and depending on the resolution of the machinery here. And I think that's one of the scariest parts of all of this. You said that this is already happening in China.
There are smart helmets. There's possibilities of testing for epilepsy. There's all kinds of things that in our own hands, neurotechnology can enable us to do. It can help us to make brain health just as important as all of the rest of our health. It can help us to quantify it and access it. But anything we can access, right, presumably other people can access as well. And if, the devices are issued by a company, then the company has access to that brain data as well. In many instances already, governments have gained access to the wearables that people are using, from heart rate to your phone, to your email, to everything else that you use, all the rest of the technology that's quantifying and tracking things. And in China, they're already using neurotechnology to track workers and students. And it sounds like doing so in some dystopian ways, which should surprise no one.
So Jordan's actually a good friend of the channel. We've been on his show multiple times.
Yeah.
And what we wanted to do is for you guys to do him a solid and go over and make sure you're subscribed, because he's kind of started his whole YouTube thing.
Yeah.
And if you could go over there and give him a subscribe, it would be really cool. It's pinned. It's down in the description. That episode is also there too.
Yeah.
But on his show, you covered the whole pig butchering scam.
Yes, yeah.
I covered the social credit system. You would want to go check out our interviews with Jordan as well, but also all of his other stuff. He interviews very, very, very interesting people about very interesting topics. And the reason that I wanted to shout it out is I think it's very much in line with the stuff that we talk about. So our audience, you guys, would definitely appreciate all of his stuff.
Yeah, he's a good talk show host.
Yeah.
He asks the right kind of questions. He's a great interviewer. And the biggest takeaway I have from all of this is that she has the exact same microphone that we do. So I approve.
Look at that.
I approve.
Absolutely, for sure.
Yeah.
So go down in the description. Make sure you're subscribed to Jordan, or you can listen to him on his normal podcast stuff. It's jordanharbinger.com.
Right.
And there's starter packs on there. So if you're interested in China, it's all the episodes about China. We're in there, of course. You can have episodes about economics or episods about spies or things like this, and it's all convenient there for you. But when you go over to his YouTube channel at Jordan Harbinger Show, please say the China Show sent you.
Yeah, just you can say ADVChina sent me, or the China Show sent me, or something like that, just so he knows that you guys are coming from here. It'd be nice for him to see that we care.
Yes. And great guy. And we'll definitely be highlighting some of his stuff in the future. Anyway, let's
time
move
for
on.
Soft Power Hour, everybody. And this is where we talk about how China is trying to change your mind through various means, propaganda, all that kind of stuff. And today's major topic that we're titled this whole thing is about the fight back against AI and robots. So let's talk about that for a second here.
I was like waiting for something to pop up on the screen.
There it is.
Yeah.
So we're going to play the clip and then I'm going to explain to you what's going on here, right? Oh, that's loud. Bring it down a bit. So
You're next, is what she's saying, everybody. You're next.
yeah, here's the thing, right?
She's not saying that.
Yeah, I've seen these kind of robot things rolled out.
Yeah.
Before I left China, they were starting to be rolled out a lot. But what this is it's kind of like a robotic check-in robot. So, when you go to the hospital here and you want to get seen by a doctor, rather than deal with a person, the robot will be there and you have to, sign in with your ID card, sign in and book your appointment and all that. But she's got frustrated because she couldn't get it to work properly. She's been waiting too long. She can't get she can't see the doctor, so she just lost it and started smashing the robot.
Where did she get the metal pipe from?
Probably just lying around.
Yeah, there's a lot of construction.
There's always something lying around. Like just go outside the entrance of the hospital, there'll be a metal pipe.
There will.
And a brick or whatever.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. China has such a large population that this is so dumb.
Yeah.
There's plenty of people who can be a receptionist. Why are they trying to replace people with robots?
Because they want it for soft power. They want people to take videos and say, look at how advanced China is. Meanwhile,
it's not,
like
though.
$13,000 per person GDP. They don't want people to look at stats. They want people to look at propaganda. They want people to look at tech.
Yeah.
Right? Look at how advanced this is. It delivers noodles by itself.
Sure.
Look at how advanced. Remember the bullshit they put in the Olympics thing?
Yes.
They're like, look, you put your bag in this electric kiosk,
The electric bellboy,
and it takes it to your room, and it's just a
Piece
terrible
of shit.
stunt.
Doesn't even take it to your
work.
room. It just goes across the parking lot.
Yeah.
These things are rubbish, by the way.
Right.
They all run off like shitty Android tablets that are, like knockoff Android tablets and stuff. They're laggy. They don't respond.
Yeah.
They don't work. And the reason I know this is I tried to interact with one of these in Shenzhen.
Yeah.
But it was a police one. And I was walking around and you can talk to it and stuff. Laggy. It's crap. It's kind of, it's worse than...
Younger and beautiful.
Obviously, because Younger and Beautiful is a real person, right?
Yeah, they had to use a real person.
But they're rubbish, okay? My kid has toys from China that are very similar to this as well, that's supposed to read you books in Chinese and stuff. The tech's not there yet.
No.
So this woman is frustrated for a reason because that thing's a piece of junk and it doesn't work.
Yeah, more so. This clip is obviously like a once-off of a woman using a pipe to beat a robot. The point is, the conversation we're talking about here is how China uses this robot, future tech, smart city stuff.
Wait for it.
The Chinese government pushes for this kind of stuff because it attracts investment and
Yes.
it makes China look like a future country. It's not just about face; it's also about attracting investment. So
Absolutely.
if you look at that and say, "Wow, it's a country that's not." Hasn't reached full development yet, but they're instituting stuff that the old decaying West isn't instituting, right?
Yeah.
They're putting stuff into practice because China is a government that can get results.
Yes.
Then all of a sudden, to another developing country, China looks more appealing because they have billions of dollars to put in this absolute nonsense.
Yeah, it is nonsense.
That doesn't help society.
And it doesn't
whatsoever.
work,
It doesn't work. It's a showpiece.
Remember those that AI reporter thing
Yeah.
for for the Olympics that they poured how many millions of dollars into, and it was absolute garbage.
It was crap.
And they didn't even use it, did
no,
they?
No, they didn't use it because it was so bad.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is they there's billions of dollars going into this facade.
This
Remember
AI bullshit.
It's that and big data. The Guizhou big data thing. They created this like multi-million-dollar museum office basically that runs fake blue screens with fake data everywhere. Let's zoom in to see what the weather's like. And blah, blah. It's literally enhanced like from TV shows.
I got to tell you one thing. You know, you showed the Jordan Harbinger thing before, and she was talking about China's already using smart helmets. They're not.
Right.
Okay, and I know why she thinks that they are is because I've seen those videos.
Right.
Remember, this is a smart school from like a couple of years ago where they show like headbands on the children, and you can see if they're paying attention or not.
That clip's going around right now again.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you see, it's that kind of thing that China tricks the world with.
Yeah.
Because you know that's a bunch of bullshit. You know that never really
China
rolled
absolutely
out.
will institute this
Yes,
stuff when it
but it
applies.
doesn't work, and it wasn't rolled out everywhere. It's
Right.
like a little thing that they did for a PR stunt, but then everybody's like, "Holy shit, China's already doing this. It's bad."
Yeah.
Wada. And you
And
see how it
also their
affects
stats.
things.
Their stats.
Yeah.
So they'll pump out and say, across this province, we've rolled out this and this and this. And you're like, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, they did.
Exactly. So you see how it works.
Right.
China makes this AI 5G tech bullshit image that goes out there, but in reality, it's just like the hydrogen AI 5G tractor that we busted, which was just an RC car.
Yeah, you know, it's another good analogy as well as the social credit system. Like when they say, I've done multiple in-depth reporting on this, and when I look into it, China will initially say, "Look at what we've done. We've come up with this very cohesive thing, and it'll apply to the whole country, and this is how we can make good people succeed and other people be reprimanded and improve their behavior and stuff." And then when the rest of the world goes, "Holy shit, that's actually really dystopian and scary," then like, actually, it's not even around our whole country. We're not even using that.
Sure.
What are you talking about? We only did it in this area, and this area, and this area. And what I found is it's somewhere in between.
Yes.
It's like their absolute goal is to institute the social credit system. It does apply to many areas around China.
Yeah.
But it's all different in the way that it's applied. And it's so broken and destroyed and messy that it can't be applied across the entire country yet. But the absolute goal is there.
Oh, they'd love to actually do it, but it can't.
Same with the mind control thing, right?
Yeah.
And same with AI, same with 5G, all this stuff. You'll find oftentimes, you know, when they talk about the 5G thing, they'll say, we've rolled out 5G across this entire, you know more about this, across the entire country. And you'll go out to the, you know, a rural part of China where it says it's 5G and it turns out it's actually not.
No,
right?
because it doesn't work out in the rural areas. It doesn't have enough range.
Correct.
So and it costs too much electricity and bandwidth and so on. So they actually just shut them down. Even though it's capable of 5G, they actually only run on 4 and 3G anyway.
Right. In certain areas.
But for most of the rural areas.
Right.
But it'll say 5G.
Right.
You know,
On
and
your
you'll think
phone.
like, and it'll be like, oh, it's 5G, but actually, no, it's not. It's not running at 5G.
I do think the best analogy ever, and if you haven't watched it, look up our tractor episode. Just go to our channel, type in tractor. Not the woman tractor.
No.
The 5G tractor.
That's correct.
I think that is the best analogy if you ever want someone to actually go to China Fact Chasers. There's a whole clipped out video of probably.
Yeah, that's probably the better way to go to fact chasers. Yeah.
If you ever have someone sending you information or asking you questions about like, oh, China's really at the forefront of so-and-so technology, send them the tractor video because that is the best, most cohesive example of what is actually happening. Yeah. It's a PR stunt.
It is.
Through and through for propaganda, pretty much for everything.
Absolutely. All this nonsense is. So I can understand her frustrations, but you know what? It's kind of useless smashing an appliance like that. Doesn't really help, does it?
No.
I wonder who'd like to try that.
This is our best choice.
That is the best choice. For that woman, that was her best choice.
Yeah, her best choice.
For sure.
But who do you think would like to try this whole robotic thing?
I would assume someone like Rick.
Oh, yes. I'd love to try this.
I think he would.
No, I absolutely think he would.
I think he would like to try that.
Anyway, guys, let's continue on past the robotic destruction over here.
I actually think Rick was a little overwhelmed.
He was.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean like...
Wow. That's a little too much.
We're still sticking in soft power.
We could do soft power.
Okay.
Yeah.
We've been talking for a long time now about how this cult of personality surrounding Xi Jinping is getting out of hand. Okay, we've shown you some of the artifacts that are being put into museums. We've got more for you, by the way, coming in this episode. But Xi Jinping as a person has become a godlike figure in China.
Like a Kim Jong-un or Kim Jong-il.
Yeah, he's just a godlike figure, and people worship him.
Yeah.
Now, in Sudan, there's been this terrible conflict.
Yeah.
Okay, with rebels and fighting and everything. Most people have been evacuated now.
Yeah.
Okay, but there was a period where the Chinese citizens were stuck in Sudan and were facing food shortages and stuff because there were no plans for evacuation yet. And to be fair, there were no plans for all of the different nationalities that were stuck there. They were all busy working on getting evacuated.
There was delay on American evacuation as well.
But there were a lot of jokes going on about Wolf Warrior. Where are you, Wolf Warriors? Because that takes place in Africa, and it's the same kind of thing where they come in
Sudan?
I think it might be. Yeah, they come in there and beat up all the foreigners and rescue the Chinese people.
Yeah.
But anyway, so the Chinese Navy plan, is it the plan? No, that's the Air Force. So it'll be PLANN? Would that be it?
I think so.
Let's see. What is it? Is it just plan? It's probably just plan.
Yeah, it's just plan.
Just plan, okay. So they had to make a plan and get the plan in, which is the People's Liberation Army Navy.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting you said Army Navy.
Hygiene,
Yeah, anyway, so the Army Navy comes along in one of their big warships to come and rescue the Chinese people.
That was their plan.
Yeah, that was their plan all along.
Yeah, they literally showed up in a warship.
Yeah, it was their plan.
It was their plan.
Yeah,
literally.
Yeah. So they come in this big warship. Now, what do you think is on the side of the warship when it pulls up?
The Air Force is PLAF, dude.
Oh, it's PLAF. Yeah, what am I saying? PLAF. Sorry, PLAF, plan.
You gotta have a plan. You gotta understand China, really.
Yeah. Wait,
if you don't,
yeah.
You gotta understand China.
You didn't understand China there. You failed the mission.
Yeah, you failed. So this big ship comes in. What is on the side of the ship? Can you please read that for everybody?
I'm not gonna say chairman. It actually says
leader.
Yeah, leader Xi Jinping. I'm not because I refuse to call him a president. He's not.
No, he's not a
official.
president. Yeah, he's not elected.
Comes to take you home in a warship. So they're bragging that Xi Jinping is coming on sent these warships to come take you back home.
It literally says leader Xi is here to rescue you. Okay, leader Xi.
Yes.
Can you imagine, I don't know, there's in Afghanistan, there's the big sort of Boeings coming to save the rescue.
It's like Biden. Biden.
Supreme Leader Biden,
brings warships to take you home.
Yes. It's ridiculous. It's gotten too ridiculous. I mean, why not just we're here to rescue you?
Just have his face on the side of the boat.
Just put his face on everything.
On everything.
May as well.
Yeah. Tattoo it on your child's leg.
Exactly. Or tattoo it on his face.
On his
so
face.
he looks like him.
Yes.
Probably not allowed to do that.
Oh man, you definitely not.
Yeah. No. So anyway,
they show you Chinese manners for sure.
Oh yeah. Wait, I've got that around you, don't I? Where the hell did I even put that? I got a Chinese manners. Come on. Maybe it's over here.
Nice.
Anyway, just the absurdity of it, and it's things like this that you have to look out for, because normally you'd see this picture and you'd be in the news, Chinese Navy comes to evacuate Chinese citizens, right?
Yes.
And you'd see that and you'd be like, oh, that's nice. But if you don't see the banner and you can't read it, you wouldn't know that what it's really saying is your supreme leader, Xi Jinping, is here to rescue you. You know what I mean? And that kind of puts a different spin on it.
Yes.
It's a little more sinister.
It is.
Yeah.
But it gets funnier and
more
pathetic.
So here's a museum in Shenzhen has a wireless microphone used by Xi Jinping.
So basically what happens is every time she touches something, and I'm not talking about SHE, which is a very awesome Taiwanese girl group.
Very cool.
One of the members I actually high-fived. Totally 180 from that.
Yes.
We're talking about the leader of China, the dictator of China. Every time he touches something, it goes into the glass box or shrouded. I mean, they literally covered a toilet that he looked at.
Yeah, he looked.
Not that he sat.
He didn't. He just looked at it. It's like Xi Jinping inspected this toilet, and he stood here.
Yes.
And then they put footprints where he stood.
Right.
And a plaque.
Yeah.
Well, let's see what else.
I mean,
the magnifying glass used by Xi Jinping when he visited this museum.
Someone went to go look at an object that a human being, a normal ass Ren.
Yeah.
He's just a Ren Lei.
Yeah, he's
just
a person.
A human being.
Mm-hmm.
And he touched it.
He didn't even touch it.
Oh, he didn't touch it?
No, look. Magnifying glass used by Xi Jinping. He looked through it.
Oh, he just looked through that.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he touched it. Maybe he touched it, but even if he didn't, he just looked through this piece of glass.
It makes me sick.
It's ridiculous. It's dumb. Does anybody else, do you guys, I'm sure our audience believes and agrees with us that this is just stupid, right?
Give me a headache.
It's dumb.
It's making me mad.
I'm telling you, somebody just needs to find a used tissue from Xi Jinping and they're a billionaire. If you can have that snot and you're like, this is Xi Jinping's snot in a tissue, you could auction that in China and it would go for billions of renminbi.
Makes me want to piss on a frog, I'll tell you that.
Oh, yeah, like this.
Yes.
Did you put the cup in?
I did.
Oh, you put in the cup. Here we have a cup that was used by Xi Jinping.
Just stop it.
I like how they have the little device to tell the temperature and humidity inside the glass just to make sure that the cup is okay.
Think of if every object he ever touched became a museum piece. The world, I mean, it would feel like a city block.
Yeah, dude, I mean, it's a hoarder's dream.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You could be a hoarder but with an excuse.
Yeah, a hoarder with an excuse.
Yeah. Every piece of toilet paper he uses. You know, like Midas, everything he touches turns to gold? You know, it's going to be like that, because everything he touches, it just turns to sheet.
It's the sheet touch.
Yeah,
the sheet touch, the sheet touch.
Yeah. Anyway.
Xi Jinping bathwater when?
Yeah, exactly.
Disgusting. Stop it. Don't dictator worship. Don't worship dicks or taters or anything in between.
Exactly.
Or the combination of the two.
Yeah, please not. Anyway, this is world news we should probably move on to. So
sure.
This is
actually Wu Mao Corner.
Oh, it's Wu Mao Corner?
Yes, it's always Wu Mao Corner before Worldview.
I'm sorry. Okay, great.
This is a Wu Mao in real life.
Okay. We're going to skip to Wu Mao Corner over here. Sorry, guys. This is where we talk about the haters. Now, Australia has a problem with Chinese nationalists, okay? Because unfortunately, Australia is very ill-equipped to deal with the threat of Chinese infiltration. Yeah. It's just an unfortunate thing. Now, this particular picture is from 2019. I don't want to mislead anyone.
Yeah.
But back in 2019 with the Hong Kong thing, then you had the Hong Kong freedom, of democracy, people standing, having protests. A lot of Chinese nationalists would drive past the protesters blaring like the Chinese national anthem to intimidate them. And a lot of, more than a few people decked their cars out to look like Chinese police in order to intimidate and scare the Hong Kong freedom democracy fighters. Yeah. Not only that, but any Chinese dissidents, Tibetans, whatever, Uyghurs, you name it. And this particular guy, they did actually question him, and he's like, I just bought the stickers on Taobao and it's just a joke.
Yeah.
I bought them online.
Because apparently it's not illegal in
Australia. You got to fix that law.
Yeah, because the problem is it's not a joke. They're harassing people.
Dude, it's literally like you ran away from this oppressive government. This is their police that would come to arrest your family and probably did.
Yeah, but you know what I think a lot of Westerners are confused about? It's like, okay, but it's not that, right? So they have no legal jurisdiction in that country. The problem is they do back home. Like the kind of person that would do this is getting congratulated back home and probably has ties, almost 100% guarantee has ties to the CCP. So if they're targeting you in Australia, they're sending that information back home and intimidating you in Australia so that you get in trouble back home. It does have jurisdiction.
If you see a guy driving around in a Chinese police car in Australia and he's filming you when you're at a protest, taking photos of you.
Why do you think he's doing that?
Yeah,
not for fun. Not a joke.
That's a massive intimidation. And now you're like, holy shit, somebody who is pretending to be Chinese police, obviously trying to intimidate me as Chinese police, now has my photo. He's going to send it back to China. He's going to send it back. And,
it's not, if you're a white or black Australian, that's not an issue for you.
Yeah.
Unless you plan on going to China, right?
Yeah.
But imagine this, you're a ethnically Chinese dissident, right?
Yeah.
And you're from mainland China, which a lot of dissidents are.
Yeah.
And you're holding up a sign that says justice for whatever, right? Yeah. Whatever cause. Look into the human rights situation of China, whatever. Thousands of Chinese protesters do it all the time.
Yeah.
And then this guy comes by and he takes your picture. Mm-hmm. Why do you think he's doing that? Well, because you're screwed.
Yes.
You can never go back to China, and your family members in China might be liable for what you just did in Australia. So yes, it does have legal consequence. I don't care what you say about joke this, it's not in the law. It's intimidation. It's transnational repression.
And you've got Chinese students who are there studying, and they finally like, I'm in a free country.
Yeah.
And then they see a Chinese police car driving past.
Yes.
They're brand new. They don't speak the language, the English yet or whatever. They see that immediately. They'll be like, holy shit.
Yes.
They don't know how Australia works, and they probably think that there are Chinese police there.
Right.
And there actually are.
So
come on, Chinese police stations overseas and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, there's two problems here, right? So, but the reason we brought this up is
the reason is they're coming back. Okay,
Yeah.
so here's one in Melbourne, and this one, oh no, sorry, that's one in China. My mistake. That's one in China that the other car was
I was
made
going to
to
say
look
that
like.
looks awful
No, that
like
is
China.
This is a new one.
Yeah.
Okay, that was taken like a couple of weeks ago
in Australia.
Okay, there's not only one though. There's multiple that have been spotted, and again, this is Turjin, which basically means SWAT or Special Police on the side. And these cars made up to look like police cars, Chinese police cars. It's appalling.
Yeah.
And it's a new thing in Australia that they're coming back again.
Right.
And Australia, you have to deal with this.
For the sake of the Chinese people in Australia, you got to deal with this.
Now, remember when we were still in California?
Yeah.
There was that case in Irvine, I think it was.
Yeah, it's a big Chinese community.
And you had the same thing. You had
Yeah.
Chinese police cars like this driving around, and they actually got reported to the police because people were afraid and intimidated by it, and they actually got pulled over.
Right. While there wasn't any specific law, the local police there did something about it because it was affecting people in the community.
Yes.
Because when we were there, we were talking to people when we used to live there that were actually being harassed by Chinese people in neighborhoods, in predominantly Chinese neighborhoods, to be like, don't go to this protest, don't do this, don't do this. And it became an issue, so the cops came and dealt with it. I don't know why that's not happening in Australia.
Yeah.
It's almost like they turn a blind eye to it,
Yeah.
from the Australians we spoke to.
I mean, dude, it's horrible. It's like if you've got Ukrainian refugees and somebody decks their car out as a Russian military vehicle driving around,
with fake guns on it.
Yeah. It's just not something you do.
No.
This is an intimidation tactic.
It is.
It's disgusting, and it's happening in Australia.
And China does arrest Chinese people for being abroad and participating in dissident behavior.
Yeah.
So that's transnational repression.
It is transnational repression.
Not a joke.
Australia, fix this shit. It's impersonating a police officer. Yes, it's not impersonating an Australian police officer, but by now Australia is half Chinese anyway. So, what are you doing?
Well,
Don't allow this.
It's not fair for the Chinese dissidents.
It's
that
not
live there.
fair.
No.
It's not fair. This is not acceptable.
They should feel safe.
Yeah. So just bringing that to light. So hopefully those of you in Australia out there can maybe write whatever your equivalent of a thing is.
We're still in Wilmot Corner.
Oh, we're still in Wilmot Corner?
It's just a gap.
You put a gap in there.
Just a little gap.
Oh, you got a gap in Wilmot Corner.
It's just a gap because
Oh, yes.
we have this.
Guys, we have a secret show on Monday. It's not that secret since we're telling you about it, but it's our
But
VIP
it's
club.
a secret show if you don't go to it.
Yeah, that's true. We wanted to show you guys what you missed out on because it's always a hoot. So let's take a look. What's happening?
Oh, no, not again.
Yeah.
Oh, selfish ass grab hags.
Yeah, they're just grab hags. They want photos of that.
They still won't get a good picture.
No. They love
All of them
destruction.
make some-
And he'd have a drink and he'd turn into a freaking tomato. It really must suck if you're Asian and you're trying to like have a little sly drink with your parents not knowing or something. You know what I mean? You can't. What a sucky way to die. Die by peanut.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Imagine that on your gravestone.
Dead by peanut.
Death by peanut. Yeah. Anyway.
If there was a line, you crossed that line many times in that episode. But I'll tell you what, you wouldn't know about that unless you went there to go see it.
Yeah, exactly. So if you guys are interested in joining our sort of private, secret VIP club show on Mondays, head on over to patreon.com/ADV podcasts. Join the Shaban Ho tier. We would love to see you there. Of course, only if you have the means to do so.
Of course, but it's very important that you do so because you don't even have to go to the top tier. There's an audio version in the mid tier, but you'll get access if you join the top tier. You'll get access to every other episode we've ever done. You don't just have to go see the live show.
Yeah.
You could be there live if you want to. We'd love to have you there. It's an amazing, amazing community. We know pretty much all of you by name at this point. So we love hanging out with you every Monday. And again, it's the stuff that we can't talk about on YouTube. We have to put it behind this wall.
Yeah.
And it's the best way to support us too.
Yeah.
Like, we don't get a ton of ad sponsorships. And
Guaranteed
stuff, so
interaction. We answer all the questions.
yeah, we answer all the questions in the chat and everything. It's a fun, awesome time. And then you'll figure out who Starfish Hitler is and all the other characters that we have in this secret show.
Yeah. Starfish Hitler's a bit of a trip.
It's a trip and a half. Oh, by the way, if you thought, we already saw the episode about the ice falling off the sakura trees, we are updating because there's more.
There's
clips.
more and more and more. Yeah.
Anyway, you get the idea.
Yeah. So now it's time for Worldview, guys, where we talk about everything in the world, specifically with regards to China. And what have we got going over here? We got another red line that's been crossed, haven't we?
We do.
Okay, let's get that up there. Red line. Prepare your ears.
It's pretty quiet. Crossing the red line is where we talk about what the Chinese foreign ministry says when another country has crossed a line or somehow pissed off China is being just overtly, in this case, racist to other countries.
You mean this guy?
Yes. Water cooler.
Water cooler diplomacy. Now, you can't make this up.
This is a hot take, and this is something I have no idea how they're going to retract because they won't. China's never retracted anything.
No,
because
they
it's a
don't.
loss of face.
Yeah.
This is the story of a girl who this is a great example of how a country that is face-based and an authoritarian dictatorship can't walk back something.
Yes.
Because they're not allowed to by their own leadership, but has said something appalling and really over the line.
Yeah, let's read it. So
this has crossed the world's red line.
Yeah, this is Wang Wenbin.
Yep.
Who's
water cooler.
He's out there, water cooler dude, and he was asked about the whole thing because now India has overtaken China as the most populous country. In other words, with the biggest population.
So China is pissed off about this because China has always been the most populous country, and that's an accolade. It's like there's the biggest burgeoning economy. That's the country we want to invest in.
Biggest population.
They hate the idea that they're stagnating and that there's a huge demographic crisis.
Remember we showed that thing a while ago where someone was crying because they found out China wasn't the biggest country in the world.
Yeah. I mean, this is the education system relies on this.
Yeah, because you're like, everything, China's got to be the best and the biggest at everything. Anyway.
I'll be Associated Free Press and you'll be Wang Wenbin.
Okay, go for it.
Have your finger on the button because the response is coming.
What, the water cooler?
No, just wait.
Right.
New United Nations estimate announced today that they expect India to overtake China as the world's most populous country by the middle of this year. I'm just wondering if the foreign ministry has any comments on this.
Okay, so water cooler comes along. What does he have to say? He says, when assessing a country's demographic dividend, we need to look at not just the size, but also the quality of its population.
You can just stop right there.
Wait. Size matters, but what matters more is the talent resource. So what he was saying is that Indians are low quality and Chinese people are high quality. And so it doesn't matter if India, surpasses China because China's people are just more superior.
Say you're a massive douchebag racist without saying you're a massive douchebag. That's
master race shit.
Whoa, let's be honest.
Yeah.
What have we been saying for years now? Winston and I have been saying all of this stuff about China's ambitions. We want to be peaceful. We want to cooperate and all this stuff is just a thin veil covering basically Hitler's Germany at this point, with Han nationalism right behind that curtain.
Yeah.
Sponsored by the CCP. And if you ever wanted to know, this is not Wang Wenbin's personal opinion. This is the foreign ministry saying this to the whole world.
Yes.
This is the mouthpiece of Xi Jinping and his regime.
Yes.
He just said that we're not going to talk about the population size, but the quality of human beings.
Yes.
This is where we're at, guys.
Yeah.
And that's just, I mean, if you wanted anything laid bare, now it's laid bare.
Yeah.
Now you see the ambition.
It's absolutely just disgusting to say something like that.
Yeah.
But that's the Chinese foreign ministry there in black and white. Official statement. It's like a White House press statement.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
Oof.
Yeah, it is. Like, come on.
Oh, well, it's the good thing about this is that no one actually heard it. Because all they heard
was...
And unfortunately, he's fluent in that language, and that's all people heard. So,
exactly.
No harm, no foul.
Anyway, guys, please,
they got away with
please just remember this because this is important.
Yeah.
China always rags on about, America's problems in society.
Yes.
They love to pick at the scabs about racism or, police brutality.
Slavery 100 years
Yeah,
ago,
like,
years ago.
Indian,
genocide.
Native American genocide and all that. These are the people that are, it's like the pot calling the kettle black.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Literally.
These guys right now are doing what they accuse countries like the United States of doing like 100 years ago or whatever.
Yep.
That's what they're doing right now.
Yeah.
So they don't have a leg to stand on.
Yeah.
Absolutely disgusting. Anyway, in more international news, Twitter changes stoke Russian-Chinese propaganda surge.
Would you be surprised if I told you that when Elon Musk removed all the state-sponsored labels, so remember, he took all the shill accounts, all the state accounts, all the China's government Twitter accounts, which aren't allowed to be on Twitter, by the way, according to their own laws.
Yes.
Because that's blocked in China.
Sure.
They get to use a VPN and go abroad and promote Chinese nationalism and propaganda, like what Wang Wenbin just said.
Yeah, exactly.
And before it said Chinese state-sponsored media. And then you could look at it and go, oh, that's just state-sponsored media from China.
Yeah.
Easy way to not just discount it, but to look at it from the perspective of, okay, this is what the Chinese government wants me to think, right?
Yeah.
He removed these labels. Everyone's like, what are you doing, right? And then all of a sudden, all of the shill accounts ended up with blue check marks, which somebody paid for. Who knows who paid for those? Who knows?
Chinese government or themselves.
Yeah. And all of a sudden, Elon announces, oh, now posts with blue check marks will be boosted in a surge. An absolute tidal wave of Chinese and Russian propaganda came over Twitter.
Here's the thing, guys. Think about it from yourself. Would you pay for a Twitter blue check mark? I certainly wouldn't.
Absolutely not.
I think it's narcissistic. I think it's bullshit.
Can I say something?
What?
If you have a blue check mark, you're a freaking dweeb.
No, I mean, okay, look, I understand if there's a brand.
Sure.
Or if someone's like, I don't know, a makeup influencer or something, and they need to get their name out there. And
sorry to all the people with blue check mark.
Exactly.
Kind of not.
But they're
joking.
Sure. There are certain cases where you would pay for it because you need that extra reach. It's part of your marketing.
Or if you're a dweeb.
But if you're a normal human being who just uses Twitter, like you and me, we wouldn't pay for it.
I think it looks kind of douchey.
It does look douchey. But if you're a propaganda...
Oh, doesn't that make sense?
A propagandist for a government, what easier way to get reach and get your propaganda out there than to pay for the extra reach? They pay for SEO, they pay for adverts, they pay for everything. So, of course, they're going to pay for blue check marks.
Overnight.
Yeah.
When those labels were removed.
And it's very interesting to see that all of the shills have blue check marks. All of them.
I'm never the kind of person that does like conspiracy theory shit. I need verification. Not Twitter verification, but I need verification on what I'm talking about. And it is now more and more looking like what I originally, like my gut kind of told me, and that is that all of this drama with NPR and BBC and all this stuff and CBC was orchestrated by Elon himself to cause controversy to be able to remove all the labels in the end for Russia and China and state media from other countries.
Whatever his whatever his motivations are, you cannot overlook the fact that he's just signed a big deal to open a new big gigafactory battery thing in China, and that he produces Teslas in China, and that one of his biggest markets is China, and that he owes a lot to the Chinese government for allowing him into China and access to that market. And so there's definitely some kind of a conflict of interest there.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, of course, he's got a lot of fans from all sides, and a lot of people think he's an absolutist when it comes to freedom of speech and all that. But, if he is going to be that, he's definitely not showing that by buddying up to China and allowing the Chinese propaganda, arms to go wild and run rampant. You know what I mean?
It makes no sense.
Yeah. So have a little bit of critical thinking when it comes to this whole thing.
Yeah.
It's a disappointment.
But it's a big deal.
Of course,
it's a really big deal. It's a huge blow to people's ability to recognize state propaganda and information warfare. Because we are, I hate to be one of those guys, but we're in information warfare right now.
Sure. Of course we are.
The state budget of China is to change the Western mind, or actually the whole world's mind about human rights atrocities and what China's doing in the world.
Yeah, actually interesting. I recently saw a video from a guy who got approached by the Chinese government to do propaganda. And one of the things they stipulated that he may not mention in his videos is he may not mention the possibility that COVID came from China.
Or from the lab or whatever. Yeah,
exactly. That type of thing. And may not mention certain things because that's their biggest fear is that it actually gets found out.
And look what happens, though. You have an entire state apparatus that uses Western platforms like Twitter and now has a huge leg up to confuse the world because they will pump billions of dollars into it.
Now, they take advantage of these tankies and dissatisfied Westerners who think that their life sucks so bad because, I don't know why, just because they can't, I don't know, get ahead in life or whatever the case. And they take advantage of disillusioned people to spread propaganda. Once again, it's horrible because these people that are being taken advantage of, they can't see the wood for the trees. They don't understand what they're doing.
No.
And they don't understand how bad it is. And they also don't understand what a shit show it would be if they were actually in a country like China as a Chinese person.
You want China to take over and be the global police. Welcome to your new life. You'll live in the fear.
Yeah, you will. I've got to put that back.
Oh, we don't have living in the fear. That's why I set you up for the soundbite.
I know. What do I have?
New?
I got.
Now, would you like me?
Oh no! No!
Yeah, this is you right now.
Oh God!
You know I got to follow it up though. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Anyway, it's back. The cat is back. Now, we've got to move on here, guys. Remember last week, we showed you this ridiculous situation where the live streamer was basically black-bagged, hidden by cloths, a big cloth shield.
Well, China, got to preempt this. China came up with this idea that if there's protesters, then the police will rush and actually hold up cloths, like a giant cloth, to physically censor.
Yes, because if you can't censor it online, you physically censor.
You physically do it,
so people can't see what's going on. Okay, so let's take.
It's been being applied.
You might be wondering what's going on here.
Get the censor cloth up. It's literally like a redacted bar in an article.
Yes, it's like real life redaction.
Yeah.
Now, this is again at the Shanghai Auto Show. And there's a reason for this. I was doing a lot of reading up into it. There were these guys standing around with black umbrellas. You can actually see one of them up in there. Okay, you can see he's got the black umbrella. And apparently the guys with black umbrellas were standing only at specific booths. Okay? And the reason that they were doing this is they were anticipating people coming to cause complaints. Now, this is a big thing in China. People buy a new car, for instance. They buy a BYD and it fails.
Yeah.
Okay, they spend a lot of money, they drive it off the showroom floor and it just has major issues, breaks down, catches fire, whatever the case. So what they do is they wait for an opportunity to inflict the biggest amount of damage and draw the biggest amount of attention to their cause. Because they go to the dealership and they're like, this piece of shit broke down, I want a refund or I want compensation. They're like, no. And they just kick him away. They're like, string him along or whatever. So what they do is they do these stunts. I've seen it before. Like when I was in Shenzhen, a guy bought a Porsche Cayenne. Is that how you say it?
SUV, yeah.
Okay, right. Yeah, so a big Porsche Cayenne. And the brakes had an issue or something, or it was like because I spoke to him. He was actually there. I was wondering what was going on. He had a trailer with his Porsche on the back, and he was making a big scene. And I spoke to him. And he said that the parking brake was like not being able to disengage and stuff. And he bought it to Porsche. And they like made him. They wanted him to like sign a non-disclosure agreement, like saying that like don't tell anyone about it, and we'll fix it for you. And so he signed it, but then they supposedly fixed it, but it had the same problem again. So then he was like, screw this, and he was making a big scene. He had a megaphone and everything. Right?
Oh, interesting.
Outside the Porsche dealership in Shenzhen, right near one of the offices where I used to work. That's how I got to speak to him. So what you'll do is you'll get disgruntled customers will go to the Shanghai Auto Show because now they know. Here's BYD, for instance, putting out its latest products.
Yes.
The last thing they need is a PR disaster.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's why they strike.
Yeah.
Right. And they'll go there and they'll unfurl the banner. Like, remember that woman with the Tesla thing with like the brakes don't work? That by the way, was a paid thing. There actually wasn't anything wrong with the Tesla, but because like they just wanted to get Tesla to lose face or something. It was another companies were setting it up, other EV companies. Anyway, so they'll go up there and they'll be like, BYD sucks, mine burned down or whatever, and they make a big ruckus. So that's why these guys were posted everywhere with umbrellas to initially block them out, and then the security guards will come in with the cloth to censor them and get them out of there, right?
Yes.
And so that's why I've got another video which we'll show at some point with somebody was walking around spotting all the guys with the umbrella in the Shanghai Auto Show with the umbrellas. And then they were like, that's a bad brand.
Right.
That's a bad brand because they're ready to like stop disgruntled customers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they were only standing around certain booths.
With the sensor bar.
Yeah, well, with the umbrellas ready.
Yeah, umbrellas, yeah. Those are also sensors.
Yeah, that's the point. The umbrella is the first line of defense.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
There's another angle.
Yeah.
Roll out the cloths. Yeah. Very important. There we go. Job success, guys.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Job well done.
Well, I mean, we saw it in action last week where they actually got that live streamer and they black bagged her and everything, right?
Yeah. Put it right in the sack.
Certainly did. Okay, so what's going on here?
So you guys remember Sitong Bridge? You know, the bridge man? Of course, I didn't need to show him. Banner man. He put the banner down with all his demands, and then they disappeared him forever.
Yeah.
And it caused, you know, a lot of those demands ended up in the protests that happened across the country.
Yes.
Right. Now, since then, you know, by the way, imagine we're standing in Philadelphia, right? We're just like on a bridge, and we unfurl a banner, and it says like, "I don't like the current administration. Hopefully the next administration can do better." Right?
Because
like,
it wasn't even
like,
you know, you get some incredibly cross people here in America, and it's something that I don't like.
Sure.
I actually don't like it at all. You'll see like fuck Trump or fuck Biden or whatever. Why do you got to use that? Why do you got to use that language? Like
on his shed.
No, yeah, I know, but I mean, like, why you got to have a sign that's...
We have a neighbor on his shed with a giant thing that says FUCK Biden.
Yeah,
and it's like that's what I don't want my kids.
When I was in California, people like spray graffiti like F Trump on like road signs and stuff. Or wear a T-shirt. It's like, dude, I get you don't like the person, but you know, like you say, you got a kid. You don't want to have to explain to your kid, like, you know, why this person is so low class and such a disgusting, horrible person that they would put expletives on their clothing and stuff.
Bring it back.
So imagine you, instead of that, you were just like, I am very dissatisfied with Biden, or I'm very dissatisfied with Trump.
And then some
or like Biden stepped down.
Yeah.
Because that's what he said. He was like, Xi Jinping stepped down. He didn't even go like, Xi Jinping F your mom or something.
Now imagine you get killed for that.
Yeah, well, you get disappeared for that.
Not just that, but afterwards, 6 months afterwards, they have an entire police force stationed at this bridge where you can go.
Yeah.
Where they constantly patrol this little bridge in Beijing just to make sure there's nary a banner to be unfurled.
Yes, and look at all the cameras that are set up. A temporary police station has been set up there.
Just on this, and it's not a huge bridge, right? No. They just have a constant...
See, they've got the vans, the police vans in there just constantly surveilling.
A constant police...
Isn't that ridiculous?
Yeah.
So why do we have a blank space here? Any reason?
It's because this is for Worldview.
We are in Worldview. Are we?
We were supposed... No.
Oh, are we not in Worldview?
Bro, Worldview's last.
Okay, we're in Worldview now, guys. Where we talk about everything to do with China. The world, specifically with regards to China. Yeah. Wow, am I off my game today. Yeah. By the way, for those of you interested in the background today, this is something I filmed in late 2018, I believe, early 19. So just before 2019, just before the pandemic hit. And this is Shanghai, Nanjinglu, which is like the most popular, most famous tourist street, walking street. Yeah. Okay, in Shanghai. There's a lot of interesting things going on here. While we're answering questions in Yamcha, which is coming up soon, I'd like you to pay attention to some of the things in the background. We'll talk about them. There's a lot of interesting things going on, but we'll get to that. You know,
richest street in China.
The richest street, most sophisticated place in China. When we actually do answer questions, I'll make us small in the corner and stuff.
Winston's first show.
Yeah, my first show, biz. Anyway, let's get back to the main thing here. Okay, this is us. This
is two guys on motorcycles getting gas in Qingdao.
Yes. So this is in Qingdao when we did the Conquering Northern China.
Very rich, developed city.
Because this is a quick little snippet we put together. Take a look. By the way, for those of you who don't know, the sign there says Moto Chi Jiao Zhan. Okay. So that this is Jiao Chu. Let me go back. Sorry. Let me just make sure I didn't misquote the sign. Yeah, sorry, Jiao Chu. So this is the motorbike refueling area.
Yes.
Okay, this little blue square that you can drive onto here. Okay.
Don't swear.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Hey, look, they've got a little camera and everything.
Really?
Yeah, they're really sorted out here.
Okay, well, let's fill her up, eh? I'll get one, you get one.
Yeah, I don't know if it's going to be one. Like, let's just fill one of these.
You don't think it's gonna be one whole one? 对对。
好。
麻烦到里面登记一下。
好。好。
大厅里面登记一下。
好好好。Yeah, 登记。
Really?
Yep. No, we got to 登记 with our 身份证 or whatever.
I know, but do we get to fill our own bikes?
I don't know. 你好。我们要60块92。
摩托车。
对。
60。
嗯。
身份证给我一下。
So weird.
Yeah. Shit, mine's in my bag. Can you help me?
Yeah, just a second.
It's in that.
It's a freaking. What do they just do?
Yeah.
Oh, they have to then register our license plate numbers here.
这两个桶装吗？
对，35。
好嘞。
好。
I really wish they'd change this in China, you know?
好的。
谢谢。
谢谢啊，再见。
再见。Nope.
新疆。
Okay,
Why
so
do we just show you getting gas? Well, it's very important for you to understand that in China, we had to drive a motorcycle up to a specific area away from the gas station.
Yes.
Grab teapots.
Yeah, you have to have a teapot because you're not allowed to fill up at
Not
the
allowed
pump.
to fill up at the pump. You have to go, bring your passport inside, register. They'll scan your passport, and then now they know where you were with all of your information, all of your data, your visa, everything about you.
Then they have to register your vehicle's license. You have to show your vehicle's registration.
All the while, your vehicle and you are being monitored on cameras inside and outside directly on your bikes.
Yes.
Then you have to bring that certification over to the gas attendant.
Yes.
Which will then fill up the teapots, which
yeah.
you then can go bring over.
Yeah, these are more like watering cans.
Watering cans, yeah, whatever. Now, the reason we're bringing this up is that if you think that's crazy, imagine going to Xinjiang in Western China where they don't really want foreigners to go to actually see
not foreigners, just yeah.
The genocide that's happening there.
For those of you who might be confused as to why they have to use a teapot/watering can, it's this bizarre rule in China. And it's not in all the provinces, but it's in the majority of provinces, I found.
Yeah.
And it's because like in the 80s, once a motorcycle caught fire at a pump at a gas station once. And since then they implemented this stupid rule that there's no sense behind it.
No.
But if you're going to fill up a motorcycle, it can't be anywhere near the pumps. So you have these like little areas far away from the pumps. And then you have to go fill up a freaking teapot, sloshing around open gas everywhere.
Flying everywhere. And by the way, do you know how many people I've seen spill the whole thing?
Yeah.
They trip or they drop it and the gas goes everywhere. And guess what? They're smoking cigarettes. They're doing it. They don't stop the smoking.
Yeah. It's a dumb, stupid rule. And it's one of these lack of common sense things that you can only find in countries like China, where it's top-down leadership.
Yeah, top-down leadership. Yeah.
Because no one can question it.
No.
You just have to go with it, right?
Yeah.
But you just saw the hoops we had to jump through to get gas. So it's become now fairly common for very rich Chinese people to get into motorcycle adventuring.
Yes.
Okay? But it's like big stuff on BMWs and what have you.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah. Anyway, so we thought we'd show this is a rich a woman who does this stuff, and this is her experience filling up in Xinjiang. I'll get us out of here.
Chinese woman.
Yeah, Chinese woman. Okay. Yeah.
But
see what she has to do.
She's allowed to go properly.
Yeah. Let's see what she has to do.
在新疆怎么给摩托车加油？到加油站把3证拿出来登记。登记。
What? They're playing like Sting in the background.
We'll keep pausing it.
Yeah, we'll have to keep pausing. Man, I hate this. Okay, I hate that Chinese live streamers can use copywritten music. With impunity.
Yeah, it's fine because there's no copyright law in China.
Yeah, but we get hit if we show their stupid streams and they use Every Breath You Take by Sting. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's not fair. No. Anyway, we are going to be watching every move she makes, though.
She will.
Yeah.
We will.
Yeah. Not every breath
she registered. Go back.
Well, okay, we'll
let's
just go
read
through
what happens.
Okay.
Just turn it off. Turn off the dialogue.
Oh, I'll turn off the dialogue. We don't need to listen to her going
and
like
we're
blah,
gonna
blah,
get
blah.
hit. So
yeah. So she says, go to the gas station and take out the certificates of registration. So like what we had to do, we had to show our registration book for our bike.
Yes.
That's whatever, right? After registration, driver and motorcycle go into the cage. I think she's joking. There's actually like a cage. Watch.
The cage is small. Be careful to not scratch.
Yeah. It says, after entering the cage, remove the helmet for facial recognition.
Yes.
Okay.
No joke. Not a joke.
No, it's not a joke. Actually, did we miss a subtitle there? I feel like we might have missed a...
I don't think so.
Okay, let's just make sure. You'll see the cage in a minute. Okay? No, it's the same. You have to present your ID card.
Yes.
Okay, so now
just like us with our passport,
yeah.
right?
In China, your ID card, it's a smart card, so it's got a chip in it.
Yeah.
And it's got all of your information.
They chip you, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
They did chip you in China.
Yes, exactly. All those people that are worried about Microsoft
Microchips
putting a microchip under your skin
vaccines.
in your
Remember
vaccine.
that? Remember that woman? She's like, "Oh shit, now I'm chipped," because a spoon stuck to her sweat.
You get idiots everywhere. Okay?
Anyway, so yeah.
This actually does happen in China.
Yes,
Your ID card that you have to carry everywhere with you does have a chip in it,
Yes.
okay? And it's a smart card. So you have to scan your ID. So
Yes.
now the government knows not only exactly where you are and what you're doing, but how much petrol you filled up and all that. And you get the facial recognition, right? So you scan your ID, okay? And it says, now you have to wait for the staff in this cage and look at this little... It's like when you're in prison and they give you like a bowl of slop through. You always see that in
the movies.
Yeah, in the movies. Yeah. So now you've got a little hole over there, okay?
Yeah.
They say, pass the oil bucket out of this gap. In other words, they're going to give you your petrol through there. So you open your fuel tank cover, okay? Align the tube, otherwise it will spill. Okay, we know that part. But you can see it's another one of those teapot things, right?
They never got rid of the pots.
No. And shake, all the shakedown is, and then you return. Now, I also want you to notice that the gas attendant that's helping her is she's wearing a helmet and like a body armor.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yes.
Stab-proof vest.
Yep.
And he's wearing a freaking helmet. And then it's like, after fueling.
After refueling.
Yeah, after refueling. Ride the motorcycle out of the cage. Okay? And it's got like a little boom over here. The whole process takes only half an hour.
Takes half an hour.
It's like takes only half an hour. Okay?
She's being sarcastic,
Yeah.
obviously.
Simple specification, convenient, safe.
Saving time. She's being sarcastic.
You think so?
Yes, absolutely. I can tell by the tone. Welcome to the beautiful Xinjiang.
There was something else she said there. Just give me a second.
It says welcome. Oh, yeah, I just
No,
read
there was something else that we
says
missed.
welcome to beautiful Xinjiang.
Yeah, the overwhelming sense of ritual. Yeah. Welcome to the beautiful Xinjiang. Okay, so just to recap. She gets there. She has to show her registration to the soldier.
Yeah.
Basically. So there's a soldier with
basically military.
With a freaking helmet there.
Yeah.
Okay.
In her own country.
Yeah, who's there to, assist you. He's a soldier with a helmet and body armor.
Yeah.
Show the registration. Go scan your ID card. Get facial recognition to make sure that someone's not using someone else's ID card. Because
and make sure you're not a Uyghur that's going to go blow something up because that's what they think you're a terrorist.
That's the whole point of this, by the way, is they're worried about people getting gasoline and using it to make Molotov cocktails.
To blow up CCP buildings.
Yeah. That's the only reason.
The only reason they've done this.
Yeah. So they make sure, it's really you. Okay. When you're in this cage, by the way, so in case I guess if it turns out that it's not you, then they can just beat the shit out of you in this cage and you can't escape.
Well, is this not very indicative of what they're doing to the Uyghurs in Xinjiang, this province?
Yeah, this is for just everyone, right? You have to wait for your slop to be handed to you through this little thing.
Is it her country? That I didn't mean it like that. I mean, according to her, this is her country, and she's probably like, why do I have to do all this?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They fill you up, and then only when they're satisfied, the soldier takes the stuff away, then you have to go out and the boom gate opens so you can escape the cage. Dude.
Half an hour.
Half an hour.
Just because the Han CCP government is worried that Uyghurs are violent terrorists that are going to blow them up. That's what this is.
I mean, the fact that we had to do that in Qingdao, which is far away from Xinjiang.
Yeah, but do you know what? Whenever you go to those places that have heavy restrictions on where you can get gas, they always have a cartoon picture of a bearded terrorist.
They do.
Remember those propaganda things? And they'll be like, don't be careful of them filling up Molotov cocktails. And it's like a curly-haired, bearded terrorist that they draw.
I mean...
It's very apparent what China thinks.
I think there's an easy way around this, by the way.
What?
You just go fill up a car.
Yeah.
And then siphon the gas out.
And most people don't know. They actually, siphon locks are on a lot of cars now.
It doesn't matter. You can defeat them.
You could still defeat them.
Like if it's your car, you can defeat it.
Yeah,
there's a way to do it.
Yeah.
You drill a hole in the tank and have like a spigot.
Could have a spigot.
You know what I mean? I feel like it's very easy to do in like a mianbao che or something.
Yeah, like if you're going to go do something, you're going to figure it out.
The mianbao che is not going to have like an anti-siphon on it.
No.
It'll just be a a pot in there. It's been welded in there.
It's actually just one of those.
Yeah, it's
pots.
just one of those. I'm just saying, like, you get one of your Han friends who's like sympathetic to just go fill up his car.
Yeah.
Just not often though.
Right. Anyway, we're not. Yeah. That's how someone would do it.
I'm just saying, like, that's how you would do it.
Yeah.
I'm not
It's
trying
not
to
gonna happen.
not going to give suggestions here. I'm just saying, like, this whole process could be defeated, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
and that
it's dumb
silly.
and it's stupid, heavy-handed oversight.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
I see you added a little clip here. What is this? Let's take a look. What did you add here? Oh wait, it doesn't help if the audio's off. It's a guy.
I actually want to know who that is.
You want to know who that is?
I hope the song tells me.
Okay.
If there's a song.
Yeah, there's a song.
欢迎大家来到大美新疆。
That's how we do it.
Oh, that's fantastic. And you know what that means?
What does that mean?
It's Yumcha.
It's time for Yumcha, yeah. So guys, this is Yumcha, the Q&A, where we answer your questions and you question our answers. We answer super chats. It's that time where I get to loosen the tie, we get to relax. And of course, for those of you who are watching now live or on the weekend, you get to watch these. We cut them out on Monday. So let's get stuck into